Hey guys, and welcome to this video. So this video is a little bit different to the other things that I share online, and that's because this was actually recorded live from a mastermind in Curacao. I never figured out whilst I was there how to actually pronounce it, but there was a mastermind in the Caribbean, and it was an amazing week of learning and networking and really kind of strengthening existing relationships. And during that week, I gave a presentation, and it was quite a long one. It was well over an hour. So what I've done is I've broken it down into little sections, of which this video that you're about to watch is one of them. So apologies, the audio isn't as crisp and clear as I would like it to be, but it's still very listenable. Yeah, I really hope you enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you do get some value, and obviously share it to anybody who you also think might benefit. So without further ado, please enjoy this video. Food, I eat good food now, and water as well. I saw this video, and it was basically someone that took water from like all around the world, and then when he couldn't physically travel to the locations, he encouraged other people around the world to share their YouTube videos. And what they did was they just got a glass of tap water, put it in a saucepan, and boiled it until the water had completely evaporated. And what was left in most of the cases was crystal crumbs, sludge, like actual colour stuff coming out of this clear water, right? And the fact is that if you look at the process of water, so I'll use England as an example, right? It's not quite as extreme in other places, and it's more extreme in other places. But our plumbing across our very old country is kind of there's a lot of lead pipes, there's a lot of Victorian stuff, there's a lot of rust and rats, and that's just the water transport system. But then you've got all these people. All of their waste goes into the toilets and stuff. This has to be filtered en masse, right? There's a demand for water. They have to get it in, get it out quickly, right? And they do that with some sort of alright filters, but those filters don't get things out like hormones, for example. So the hormone replacement therapy that your mum or your aunt or whatever's on, that doesn't really get filtered out too well. Neither does a lot of medication, neither does a lot of sort of bad stuff. Chemicals that they put in to clean the water will linger, and that's not necessarily good for you. So basically we've switched to filtered water, right? So we've got a fridge not too dissimilar to the one in there, which runs the water through activated charcoal. Right? It's not the best filter in the world, but it's one extra step. It's one improvement, right? But we've also started, so that's the water we're drinking. And it's the water that we're cooking with as well. So when you cook with water, it's easy to just fill out from the tap. We've also got a kettle. I have bulletproof coffee every morning. I've got a kettle that filters the water a second time. So I'll fill it up from the fridge, and then the kettle actually filters it before it then boils it. Really easy switches. We're talking a 15 pound kettle or something like that. But when you see, and Google the videos, when you see what comes out of the water when the water's boiled off, and then times that by the 3 litres a day that you're drinking now, because you should be, right? And then times that by however many days. This is all about removing your kryptonite, this particular slide. So it's not about necessarily what makes you better, it's about removing the stuff that makes you weaker, right? Which is Dave Asprey I follow for this kind of stuff. That's what his bulletproof diet's about. It's not about food, it's not 100% about food, it's not 100% about water. It's just about removing the things in your life that make you weaker, right? Because you're a lot stronger when all the stuff that's weakening you is removed. Water's one of them. Then, because you probably don't want to be getting up for a tiny little cup of water, you need to store your water in something throughout the day. Get yourself a glass bottle. Don't drink out of plastic bottles. Plastic is even worse when it's put in the heat, direct sunlight, things like that. But if you're drinking bottled water out of plastic containers, sometimes it's unavoidable. That's fine. Right? We're just trying to do as good a job as we can. You might have kept it cold. You might have taken it out of the fridge. You might have not put it in direct sunlight, things like that. But you don't know whether that's been in the sun on the way to wherever you bought it from. So the shop that you bought it from, it might have been out in the sun for hours and then put in the fridge, and now you think it's cold. But the sun on that plastic puts the the bad stuff from the plastic into the water and you'll drink the water. So I recently got a 1 litre bottle from Amazon, which is glass. I laughed at that Shopify company. Do you remember a couple of years ago there was a thing like, we sell glass bottles? I was like, you sell like what the milkman delivers. Sort of thing. That was a couple of years ago. It was pretty advanced because I'm like, shit. I found myself last week like looking for glass bottles. My girlfriend's pregnant, so this is even more important. Like, I want her to be like, bulletproof. And yeah, it's really hard to find one above 500 milliliters, but I was able to find one in the UK. Probably there's more in the US.
What about the steel travel ones that are so popular
Metal's
right now?
fine.
Yeah.
Metal's fine, yeah. If you get like,
The
what are they
Yetis.
called? The
Yeti style ones or whatever they are.
yeah, metal's fine.
Right.
It's just plastic to avoid, really.
Gotcha.
Next up, food intolerance tests. This is bad news. This is like the first of your bad news if you take this advice. You should take this advice.
Yeah.
Is there sauce in
Burn. So it's a bit of a learning curve to find out what food you're intolerant to. It involves going to Google, typing in the area that you live, plus food intolerance test. Anyone write that down? You go, and they, like a good one, like look for reviews as you would normally. A good one will take, it'll take a little bit of your blood. Sometimes they take a bit of your urine. And they just generally talk to you about your diet, right? It's just like an MOT of what you're eating, right? And then at the end of it, the blood that they've taken from you, they'll have tested, depending on what level food intolerance test, they'll have tested how your blood reacts to, the basic one I think is like 40, then there's like 250, and then there's more different like food types. So cow's milk, eggs, yeast, oats, cashews, so many. Cow's milk, by the way, if you're drinking cow's milk, just stop. There's almond milk, it tastes better.
Thank you.
There's cashew milk, it tastes better. Soy milk, avoid that, shit.
Macadamia milk.
Macadamia milk,
Delicious.
coconut milk. I don't know how it is like elsewhere, but like in the UK, you go into a coffee shop and you say, hey, what's your selection of dairy-free milks look like? And they still look at you like you've kind of asked their mum out or something. But it's important. Actually, I went to Devon last week. I said that to this woman. This woman referred to her different coffee beans and said, she has a good taste. She has a delicate texture. Right? She was weird anyway. I said to her, I said, like, have you got non-dairy? She went, nah, it makes it taste wrong, so I don't do it. It's like, you realise you're not drinking your coffee, right? You realise other people are drinking your coffee. Anyway, so food intolerance test. I found out, as you would have seen at breakfast when I tucked into some eggs, I found out that I'm intolerant to eggs. I found out that I'm intolerant to lactose, which is in cow's milk. Like 98% of people on some level are allergic to cow's milk. On a lesser scale, I found out that I was intolerant to, I think, oats. So like porridge in the morning with milk is kind of that kills me. Things like that. What you find when you cut out food, so by the way, it's not allergic. You're not allergic to it. You can eat it, but it will make you bloated. It'll make you gassy. It'll make you lethargic, tired. You won't sleep so well. Those are the kind of symptoms of
23 foods and counting.
23 foods and counting. But by cutting them out, you feel better, or you should. But the thing is as well, what they recommend, depending on the level of intolerance, they say like you either cut them out of your diet for 12 weeks or 6 weeks, and then you can slowly reintroduce them, and sometimes your body can heal, and you can then have them again, and you don't get the bad side effects. So I would, they're a couple of $100. They're not cheap, but they're so worth it. I would check that out.
Specific to your body type as well.
Specific to you, because
Genetics.
exactly, and we all have different backgrounds and stuff. They'll make you stronger by cutting out the stuff that you're intolerant to, and yeah, all the rest of it. On that note, sometimes you can have food, and you maybe don't consume that much, but you look in the mirror and you're like, fuck, I'm a fat bastard, right? Because you look like you've swollen. And that's literally what you have done, right? If you fell and like banged your knee or something, what happens is your knee swells up, right? That's your body's natural defense mechanism to something bad kind of happening, right? That's how it heals. And so when you consume stuff that you're allergic to or intolerant to, your body swells up. So that's why, like, you might have something like carby, you might have like really shitty white bread or something, and then you look in the mirror and you're like a mess. Well, it's probably because you're intolerant to it, and your body is literally swelled up to protect yourself.
I just sorry to interrupt. I remembered something because I'm huge stomach problems, but I've been to a lot of natural healers, and I remember a naturopath was telling me to eat foods that my ancestors ate. So I moved to Canada, and we obviously have a huge selection variety of foods, right? And I like sushi and Indian food and stuff like that. But he said, you're from Eastern Europe. Potatoes, meat, sourdough bread, that's what you should be eating. Apples, because they are found in your country. So if you guys can find out where, like if you're not sure exactly where you come from, obviously from Ghana, like eat fruit, eat meat, eat food that is native there, because your body is so used to it, and that's what your mom fed on, your grandma fed on, and your body accepts it better. So like people like me should not be eating avocado, sushi, like anything that's not found in Eastern Europe, which is kind of interesting. Is something like completely new from what I've heard of, but it's true. Like I can eat avocado and blow it up, but I can totally have potatoes and nothing else.
Absolutely, and so yeah, it's like a blend of what you guys have said. It's about knowing what you ate historically and like what is it's your own food DNA kind of thing, and understanding what's right for you. It might be that you could have avocados even though you didn't historically eat it, but this will give you more conclusive proof. And then what you can do is you can kind of test things out. Right, so what I did after this, I was really intrigued to know whether it was egg whites or egg yolks. Right, because I like eggs, I really like eggs, but like I could adjust to it. If it was the yolks, and I could just have the whites, that works out well. Turns out it's both for me. But you can test it by having, just having that and isolating these different things and seeing how you feel, looking at how you look, how gassy you are, things like that. So yeah, it's a big one there that I would highly recommend you do. Ideally, eat bulletproof. Now, there's a roadmap. I put this in the Life Hacks channel, I think, on Slack. But there's like a guideline to in the different categories, like the nuts, the fats, the proteins, the carbs, the other stuff. There's like guidelines of what is more bulletproof, i.e. Is less likely to be a kryptonite to you, and what is more likely to be. So it's just guidelines. So for example, like steaming your food is better than like deep frying it. Olive oil is amazing, but it's such a delicate fat that if you start cooking with it, it completely changes its composition. It becomes a bad thing. Like you should eat olive oil raw, things like that. If you're going to be cooking in oil, ghee's good and coconut oil's good for cooking it. So that gives you some more guidelines. This is an entire blog, and yeah, if you're looking at kind of the stuff that you put in your mouth that makes you weak and how to avoid it, that's like really good. I put all of my links in these like pretty links, so that you only really need to remember this bit because that bit won't change. Organic, eat organic. I mean, everyone tells us to do this, but it can be tricky. Like, depending on where you are, it might be that you're really well equipped, but like where I was, there's a lot of supermarkets around and they have some stuff that's organic, but they don't have other stuff. And what I found was I typed in like organic delivered to your door, I think is what my search term was. I found a whole bunch of companies that will deliver organic food, right? This is amazing because it's from local farms. None of the animals have been fed like growth hormones or other nice stuff that kind of makes them bigger so there's more meat. It's got a bigger range of the supermarkets. It's delivered to me, so I'm saving myself an hour or whatever of shopping time, and I know exactly what I'm spending. I can plan my meals around that if I want. And also found that they delivered it, so I have a weekly delivery, and all of the like use by dates on it is more than a week. So like you can actually get through the week and it doesn't like expire and stuff. Really, really good quality meat and stuff. So I really hope there's stuff in your area that's organic, and I found that it was 5% more expensive than the other stuff, but I didn't buy all of the sort of add-ons that you get in the supermarket when you go to the tills and all that stuff, and so it was actually like the same price. I don't think any of you are that bothered about price. This is more about being better, being stronger, being more right? If you look at the packet and it has a long list of ingredients, or you can't pronounce any of the ingredients, it's a good sign.